Hello, Queens. Welcome to Intro to Pole. I'm Sloan, your instructor. I'm so happy that you're here. I can't wait to see how you do. This video may not be the exact length that a class would be. The goal is to allow you time to pause the video and give yourself a few minutes to practice each posture that we go over. The same structure is going to apply during the warm-up and the conditioning as well. I will show you the movement that you're about to perform, give you the number of sets or time to perform it under. You can pause the video, perform your sets, take a small break, and then continue watching the next demonstration during your break. If you're following the video along properly, this course will take you roughly 75 minutes with your own pausing in between. As a beginner baby poler, we highly suggest making sure that you always check your pole before beginning. I also always recommend starting on static during the warm-up and the conditioning as we can move into spin for the actual content. I like to give my pole just a little tug. If it moves at the bottom or at the top, we know we need to put it on static, or however yours goes on static. Mine is an Allen wrench. Some of you may have the quick lock, and then you're going to tighten it back up, give it a little bit of a tug. I exaggerate my tug in my videos. My pole is old. I can also afford to replace it. They're very expensive, so be polite to your partner, okay? So once your pole's on static, we're going to start on our mat. If you have carpet, you may not need a mat. I still recommend one. I love beginning everybody with the same movement in the arms. Get those shoulders nice and warmed up. Also, don't mind my sunburn. All right, you're going to waddle back and forth, kind of like a Lego. You ever see a Lego and you kind of teeter it like this to make it walk? You're going to make yourself very tight, tall to the ceiling, okay? So nothing like this. We want everything tall. Pull that belly button toward the spine, and we're going to rock back and forth. Arms are going to be out at a T, and you're going to pulse up and down as you face your palm to the front. We're going to do about 20 of these pulses, and then you're going to move your palm facing to the ground. 20 here, and continuing to waddle back and forth just like a Lego piece, keeping everything nice and tight, and 20 with your palm facing to the back. Just steady breathing here, nothing extraneous, nothing fancy. Breathe through the nose, out the mouth. You're going to try not to push off the ground. We just want to allow that weight to shift from side to side as you do this movement. So in total, it should take you around 45 seconds to a minute. You're going to perform 2 sets of these. Once you've performed 2 sets of these guys, you're going to go straight into big shoulder rolls, keeping that Lego walk. You're going to roll right from the shoulder joint, kind of like a choo-choo train. Ooh, right? You're going to go backwards about 20 times. And then, you guessed it, forwards about 20 times. As you do this, I kind of act like I'm a thug. What you want, right? Those elbows come forward, and we kind of cave those shoulders in. You want to fight? Right? Shrug. 20 of these guys. Spread it. Arms in a T. As we do this, we twist. The arms do not move. And we reach toward our toe. We're going to try avoiding that arm being here, here, or here. We want to keep it right where it is. This is going to warm up your torso. If you can't reach your toes yet, it's okay, Queen. It doesn't matter. You'll get there. And you might just be cold right now. You're going to do this for about 30 to 45 seconds. This is going to warm up your hips, warm up your torso, keep those shoulders active and strong. Okay, now that you've gone side to side and done a little cross switching across your body, we are going to come straight down into the middle, grab those elbows, and you're going to switch your hips back and forth. You're going to grab your elbows and switch those hips back and forth. Okay, just steady breaths in through the nose as best as you can, and then out through the mouth, keeping that belly button nice and tight towards your spine. We're going to do this movement for roughly 30 to 45 seconds. Coming to your pole, we're going to do a little lean back. You're going to interlace your hands around your pole and simply grab, make a V, and allow yourself to come all the way through. And I want you to give a little twist and walk. Your hips should be far away from you, feet firmly planted into the floor, and you're going to switch those hips again, straightening one leg and bending the opposite. This is going to stretch out your lats here and all of the upper body and shoulders. So here it is from another angle. We're going to do this again for about 30 to 45 seconds. It's important to have a nice warm-up so we don't get injured. Helps build strength properly and good form and postures. Once we've done about 30 to 45 seconds of our pole walking there, we're going to come here from downward dog into a plank. If you cannot hit a downward dog fully, I'm going to show you how to start in a beginner downward dog. If regular downward dog is here and you can't quite hit this, you're going to bring your knees forward more and push your booty away from you. Right? Now, as you come forward, you're going to straighten out into a plank. Push that booty back and then straighten out into a plank. If you have the mobility and strength, you're going to push back into your full down dog and come into your plank. We're going to do about 10 to 12 of these, counting from the plank. Inhale, and then exhale down to the ground. You want to keep your glutes squeezed as you come forward and release them as you come back. Once you've hit your down dog to plank, we're going to come into our cat-cow position on all fours, lining up the shoulder joint and the wrist joint, the knee joint with the hip joint. You want to make sure that you are not close together. We want distance between those knees and the hands. Focusing on moving from the stomach area, not your belly button. You're going to push up and round while you push into the floor, tucking the chin, keeping that belly button tight to the spine as we come through to cow, and then back into cat. Exhale through into cow. Get that spine mobility. You're going to do this about 10 to 12 times, and once you've done so, we're going to add in some circles, starting clockwise, and really roll those shoulders. Don't be afraid to let your arms move. See my shoulders moving? It's okay, you don't have to be stiff. The whole point is opening up the body. Let the hips move, let everything flow, and then reverse it once you've gone around about 8 times in each direction. You're gonna bring it out into a puppy pose. Let that chest just naturally fall towards the ground and hold for a moment. It's important to remember that I've been doing this for a very long time. My range of motion is not going to be the same as yours. And it's okay that you are starting in a lesser range of motion, as you will work up to a greater range of motion doing the movement properly over time. So once you've held your puppy pose here for roughly 20 to 30 seconds, you're going to tuck, walk up a little bit, and do a couple of body waves. I push my toes into the floor, push the hips back, and tuck the hip. You're going to tuck the belly button, tuck the ribs, and then tuck through to the head. Watch again. Right? Push back, tuck through the spine, and then pull down. At the end, I'm pulling my shoulders to my butt, right? So they're not up here. We want them down here for safety. Push back again. We're going to do this about 5 to 8 times. Tuck hips, tuck belly, tuck ribs, tuck shoulders, and open up. And remember, it's okay to let your body move around a bit. We got just a couple more of these. Tuck through the hips, belly, ribs, keeping those glutes squeezed as you come up into cobra and open up. This movement is going to help you learn how to do body rolls later as you progress, and they'll feel less awkward doing body waves like this. Now that we've done 5 to 8 of our child's pose to body roll forward into cobra, we're going to open up forward into a straddle. Seated straddle, hands behind the head. You're going to stay tall and keep that belly button nice and tall. I kind of like to pretend that there's a wall in front of me and behind me, so I cannot turn or twist. Don't break your walls. Keeping those toes pointed, we are going to bend to the side and try to touch that elbow to the ground. Remember, if you cannot make it yet, that is okay. You will get there over time. You're going to do a total of 10 of these and 2 sets. This is going to open up what's called your quadratus lumborum, which is a muscle in your back that attaches from back muscles into the hip. This opens up and helps you twist and extend your back in Superman. Once you've done 2 sets of 10 total, alternating sides, we're going to keep that straddle open and we're going to rock the knees forward and then back open. This is going to open up a little bit more of the tissue around the joint itself. If you find yourself popping, it's not necessarily a bad thing unless it's accompanied by sharp pain, electric-y types of pain. Those are important things to pay attention to. Sometimes popping is simply because the tissue, the fascia around the area is too tight. Giving it movement in mobility like this is going to help open it up. Keep those toes pointed. We're almost there. Right? Now you're going to open up just a little bit wider. You should find that you can. And we're going to hinge forward at the hip, not at your belly button, right? And let those legs rock with you. Okay, show you from the side here. So you're going to hinge forward. It's okay if you can't pancake yet, right? But we want to avoid this. This won't stretch anything, right? So we want to hinge, sit up tall, and hinge, reach forward. You're going to do this about 10 to 12 times. All right, queens, you should be feeling real nice and limber by now. Let's start conditioning. You're going to love this. You're going to stay in your straddle. You're going to put your hands right behind your bootay. You're going to lift a leg and bring it to the center. Lift the other and bring it to the center. Okay? And then reverse that. Make sure that you keep those toes pointed. Exhale as you lift. That's going to help you contract more muscle fiber. for the lift itself, which means that you're actually getting yourself stronger. We're going to keep alternating like this till we hit 8. Remember where you started. I know that's the tough part sometimes. You should be feeling this right along the top of your legs and into the bottom portion of your abdomen where that V area is. This is called your hip flexor, right? You do not have to go as high as I can go. You might only be right here and your range of motion might be a little bit smaller, and that's okay, right? So as soon as you've hit your 8, you're going to take a little rest because you're going to do this 3 times total. This is a good place to pause, grab a sip of water, take a couple of deep breaths if you need to. We're about to hop on the pole for some more conditioning. Okay, it's time to hop on your pole for a little more conditioning. We're going to add some strength to this before we actually get to the moves. That way you feel a little more comfortable shifting your weight away from the pole. Go ahead and wipe down if you need to. Doesn't take much. Now, during these conditioning moves, I highly recommend do not use any grip aid yet. This will help you gain more strength within your grip. I'm also going to run you through some movements that are going to help strengthen your grip. If you haven't watched our free YouTube video on where strength comes from, don't forget to head over to the channel, subscribe, and give that video a watch. Okay. As a new pole dancer, we often want to do what's called death grip. This, my dear, will not help you in anything, I promise. Very, very, very few moves do we death grip. So let's talk about a move that's going to help you gain some strength, and you're going to like being in this one because it's near the pole. You're going to start in that death grip. This is actually called a bicep grip. It goes right in the middle of your bicep. You don't want it too close to either of your joints. And then you're going to bring your hand up and wrap around. Your bootay is going to rest on the pole. And our top arm, our outside arm is going to go on the top. All right, so we're leaning into the pole just a little bit. Some of our weight is being held by the pole. Some of our weight is being held by ourselves, meaning our arms. Now, the important part of this is keeping those shoulders down and back towards your butt. This is going to engage your lats, your rhomboids, your deltoids. That way we have strength. So starting next to your pole, you're going to lean in just a little bit, and you're going to either march with a pointed toe, alternating sides, or we're going to lift and tuck. It looks like this. Lift and tuck, knee is out, or tuck. You're going to do either 6 walks on this side, 6 walks on this side, or 8 tucks here. Some beginners have good core strength already. If you do things like Pilates or yoga, you may be able to hit both legs up. We're going to do 2 sets of this. Make sure that you begin on the side that you ended on. This will keep you neurologically even to avoid any overtraining one side versus the other. Now that we've done our 2 sets of our extra abs, we're going to face our pole with our feet at the base here and our hands stacked one on top of the other, back hand on the top, front hand on the bottom. You want this right around your chest. We are going to allow ourselves to come back and down, and as you pull back up, you're going to pull through your elbows and up. Squat down and away and pull up. You're going to do 5 to 8 of these, and then switch the hand that you have on top. Again, pulling through those elbows and keeping those shoulders down and back, right? Letting those hips move away from the pole. We're going to do 2 sets of these also. Our next movement is all about the shoulder blades. And it's kind of like saying, I don't know. We're going to begin by facing our pole. I'm facing you so that you can see what my shoulders are doing, since that's our primary mover of this exercise. You're going to reach above your head while on your toes and keeping those shoulders down. Now, you're going to come flat-footed and allow your shoulders to shrug. See how they meet my ears? As we come up on the toes, we're going to pull those shoulders down and back without bending at the elbows. So we're going to keep the elbow locked into place and pull through the elbow to move the shoulder blade. Now, if you look at me from the side, you can see that I am right up next to my pole. If you're out here, it's going to be tough, right? This one, we do want to just rub the pole. You're going to do about 5 to 8 on each arm. Change the arm that's stacked on top. And again, pulling through the shoulder without bending the elbow. You're going to do 2 sets with 5 to 8 of each hand on top. All right, you should be feeling very, very nice and toasty by now. We have one more conditioning move before we get into our content today. And this one is going to be a little challenging, but it's going to really help you focus on being able to pull yourself up onto the pole and building that strength to do so. So we're going to give a little hop. As we move around our pole, you can put your pole on spin for this movement. Okay, if your pole is on spin, you're going to start with your arms above your head while facing your pole, just like we were a minute ago. You're going to now pull through the elbows like we did in our squat pole row and hop as far as you can around the pole. You don't want your arms too high or you won't be able to pull through the elbows. So they're not going to go quite as high as you had them on your scapular pull up here, right? All the way at the top, come down just a little bit more. That way you have room to actually pull yourself up towards the pole. As a beginner, you may only get here. Still focus on this movement, lever action in the arms, right? Think about somebody pulling you right through that elbow joint. This is going to help you build strength over time. You're going to try to do 2 full rotations in each direction, switching those hands in each direction. Okay, you should be feeling really toasty by now. Don't forget to hydrate yourself. Take sips of water as you need it. Pause the video as you need some rest. Practice these movements coming up. It's okay to take a few minutes to pause and work both sides. We always want to work both sides, Queen. Grab your pole, wipe it down. Here is where you can use some grip aid. Our first movement that we're going to get into is called a pole walk. This may seem like it's just a simple, boring move, but as a baby poler, it's going to help you learn how to be away from your pole. So you may not need grip for this one. It's very simple. You're going to come up onto your toes. You're going to start on the side of your pole at arm's length. Stepping with your inside leg first and staying on the toes. Allow yourself to kind of come away from the pole, right? This helps you learn how to grip the pole. And you're going to take a few steps around, a few rotations, and then switch the direction that you're walking. Like I said, I know this seems very basic, but it's going to help you get more comfortable with moving away from the pole. You should notice that your weight is somewhat being held by the pole and somewhat being held by the floor as you move away from the pole just a little bit. You'll also notice that my body's at a little bit of an angle. I'm not directly straight and stacked. A little bit of an angle. right? You can pull yourself in and move yourself out, getting more comfortable, right? Switch directions. Don't be scared to switch directions. So go ahead and take a moment, walk around your pole, switch directions, play with it, and then we'll get to our next movement. All right, now that you've had a minute or two to play with your pole walk, we're going to come into what's called around the world. This is why the pole walk was so important. We're going to begin next to our pole on our toes. Your inside arm is going to be right around your head, and your outside arm is going to be right around the elbow of your inside arm. Take a step into the pole with your inside leg. Your outside leg is going to swing around, extended all the way through to the toes, and you're going to allow yourself to shift away from the pole just a little bit, keeping your weight shifted onto your hands, the pole, and then your planted inside foot. This might be your left foot if you're on your left side, or your right foot if you're on the right side. I'm going to start on the left, so you may follow me over here. So we're going to step in and come out and back around. It's going to feel very fast. Remember that the further out away and then the closer you come in, the quicker you're going to move, right? So let's try it on both sides. Step in with that inside leg. You're going to allow yourself to come out and swing around. You'll notice that your body kind of comes into a D position, and that's okay. As long as we're not dipping yet, we'll get there. So give yourself a few minutes to play with this movement because it becomes very scary as we learn how to move our body away from the pole just a little bit. Okay, now that you've had a few minutes to play with the around the world and your pole walk, it's time to learn a dip spin. This one seems very similar to the around the world, but we go a lot lower. We practiced our conditioning move of squatting and pulling up. It is a very similar move to this one here. You're going to begin facing your pole. You're going to have your hands stacked just in front of your chest. On your toes, you're going to start the movement with your outside leg, right? Technically, this you would be my mirror. Boop. We're going to dip and reach back around and then up. It's very hard to do slow motion. So I'm a lot taller than a lot of the students that I end up teaching. I am almost 6 foot without shoes. I have a very large reach. You may not have this reach. That's okay. When you're a little shorter, sometimes you have to hop around the pole. That's all right. Or you might just let yourself slide or flow, let your toe drag. Let me show you. Okay? If you don't make it all the way in a circle around your pole, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, and it will come with time. You'll find your flow with it the more you practice. Going the other direction. The most important thing of this is allow yourself to come near the ground, right? So as we step around, we're going to dip on and squat on one leg. Let those hips come down. Swing around. Here is where your body and the pole create tension to hold you. That way you can come dip and back around and then pull yourself up. So take a few moments to play around with this one and allow your hips to drop to the floor and come right back up, stacked under yourself. Okay, once you've had a few moments to play around with this movement, it's time to move into our pirouette. Pirouette is a wonderful movement that connects a lot of other movements and it's just pretty and adds a good flair to your dancing. So to begin this movement, we're going to start on the side of the pole. Our inside arm is going to stay high as we come up onto our toes. Don't worry about the outside arm just yet, we'll get there. As you step in with your inside leg, you're going to follow yourself in between the pole, leading with the outside of your body, and just allow your outside leg to just follow you through. All of your weight is going to shift onto the inside leg. Here's where your outside arm is going to tap the pole as we come through and around. I'm going to do that a couple more times for you so that you can watch, and then I'm going to bring you closer and go over the hands. This is the most important part. So again, we're going to come up on those toes, starting on the side of our pole. Inside arm is high. We're going to step into our pole and continue that movement around. You'll notice I'm just dragging that leg. Tap the pole for guidance and keep swiveling through. You can regrip here, or you can continue and do more. So if we go from the other side, it's the same steps, stepping with that inside leg first. So this is my left side, and I'm going to allow my right leg to drag as I shift that weight onto my left. Right hand's going to tap the bottom of the pole. I'm going to open up that chest, flip the grip, and come back around. So I'm going to bring you closer so that you can see my hands, and I'm going to talk you through the hand portion. Okay, the pirouette is easy. The hands is what I find to be the most confusing for students. So let's go over it. This is going to take a minute. Be patient and kind with yourself. We're going to pretend like my arm is high so you can see what I'm doing. So the arm is above the head. We start in just a normal baseball grip or true grip, whichever you prefer. Remember, everything has multiple names. Starting in our true grip, we are going to let go. This is where our body goes through and the hand touches underneath. As you do this, this is the part that confuses. You're going to roll up and let that thumb come underneath as you roll across your knuckles, and then face the palm back to the front. Okay? I'm going to bring that slightly lower so you can see one more time. As you step through, you're going to let go. That's why your bottom arm touches the pole for stability. That thumb comes away from the pole. You come across the knuckles as you open up the chest, and then back to your palm here. I'm going to show you this direction so you can see a little bit better what I'm talking about. So if the hand is here and we're going in between our body and the pole with our outside shoulder, we're going to flat palm, release that thumb, come across the back of the knuckles, over the side of the pinky, and then regrip. I do drop my hand a little bit when I do this, so it will be up here. I drop it down to allow myself room to come underneath, and then I push it back up. This is important in pole dance. We have this tendency as new pole dancers to think that we have to keep contact with the pole. You can let go, and it's okay to let go, right? We need to in this movement just a little bit. See that thumb unwraps. You're still in contact the whole time as your hand moves across the back of those knuckles there, right? Right. So give yourself a couple of minutes to play with this one, maybe a few more minutes longer than the others to get that hand movement down. And then we'll move on to our next movement. Now that you've had a couple minutes to play around with your pirouette and get used to that hand, I know it's a little tricky, we're going to finish off our lesson by learning how to do a pole sit beginner style. You're going to face your pole, You want your arms and your hands right in front of your chest for this one. Up on those toes, of course. And now you're going to step into your pull with your opposite leg. You see that? Now, what is now your outside leg is going to spin around in our around the world. You're going to connect to your thigh. Not quite in the center, but slightly higher. That little thicker part of your thigh, that's where you want to be. It's not quite in the coochie, and it's just far enough away that we get a little bit more sticky hold. So starting facing our pole, we're going to step with that opposite leg again inside. We're going to wrap it around, connect to the pole, and scissor sit. This is important. My legs are doing this to the pole. Now, you also want to make sure that you're tilted into that bottom leg. Otherwise, you will fall. You will fall. So go in the other direction, okay? On those toes, take your step in, connect, and lean into that right leg while you allow your hands and your hips to hold you. To come out, put your leg down and stand. Yes, it hurts. The skin is very thin here, my dears. It's okay, you'll get used to it, I promise. This movement will not work if your shorts are down, unless you have a silicone or coated pole, right? No matter how much I lean. So make sure you have skin contact. That's what pole is all about, right? We want skin contact to keep us in place, okay? Give yourself a few minutes to practice this movement. Don't forget to get some water if you need some. Take a rest as needed. Give yourself a breather. It's okay not to go super ham. All right, my new pole babies. I hope you enjoyed this intro to pole lesson, and I can't wait to see you for lesson 2. Don't forget to treat yourself well. Speak kindly to yourself when you feel like you made mistakes. Also remember, there's no such thing as failure. There's only moments of learning. You're doing great. Keep going.